Hello, everybody. My name is Vernay. I'm an ICU nurse, and I've been an ICU nurse for about 3 years. I just wanted to come on here and share a few tips for passing the CCRN exam, and also just tell you what you should focus on. Um, for anybody that's researching information about the CCRN exam, I'm sure you already know what it all entails, how much questions it is, how long the exam is. But I just wanted to share a few short tips. So don't wing the exam. It's not a wingable exam. It is blood hard. It's harder than the NCLEX. And if you're gonna wing it, don't. It's too much money to waste, especially if you can't guarantee that you're going to pass. So I know I asked that ridiculous question to a few of my coworkers, and some of them was like, "Yeah, you'll be fine," and others was like, "No, straight up, don't wing it." Um, and I even saw someone on YouTube that said that they just wanted to take the exam just to see what it was like. Honey, if you got that kind of money to waste, good for you. Otherwise, don't do it, okay? Another thing, there are no practice questions out there that are remotely similar to the type of question that you see on the exam. Um, Even I think the AACN has like a self-assessment exam. Even those questions aren't remotely similar to the CCRN. Um, I had the CCRN adult app on my iPad, and I thought it was good in terms of helping you keep your time, and manage and taking a lot of questions within a certain time frame. I thought that was neat. I also found that the past CCRN book, this, oh sorry, that's my phone. This book came with a code for some practice questions. Those questions were cool too, but again, I don't care what resource you're using, there isn't anything out there that's remotely close to the type of questions that you see on the exam. So with that being said, I bought this book initially, this big ridiculous lump of paper, but I didn't find that it was very well organized, and I did not like that book at all. The book that I found to be A1 was Barron's book. Their CCRM book is smaller, it's more concise, it's more organized, it better explains certain things through each system, which I appreciated. And I found that book to be the best resource. I think you should just go ahead and buy it, honestly. But I didn't buy it. I didn't want to spend the money on it after buying that book through Amazon. I went through my hospital educators, and they had the book that could have been rented. So I rented the book. Another thing that I did was, I'm a part of and if you're not, you should become a part of it, the Critical Care Nursing Association. They just give you discounts on certain things, certain resources. They expose you to a lot of seminars and stuff like that. But anywho, they had a 2-day class, in-person 2-day class, and they gave me this binder, and they went through each system, and they had a guest speaker that was practically an expert on each particular system, which I appreciated and I really liked. I did that class, and another thing that I did was Laura Gasparis' videos. Her videos are good, but if you don't have a friend that can send you the videos or let you use the I think a CD or something. A really good resource that is on YouTube is it's a guy that does CCRN review, and I think that's what his videos is called. It's just called CCRN review, and he references a lot of Laura Gasparis' information. But apart from that, he doesn't waste time with the jokes. She has a ton of jokes in her videos, which is cool. And like some people like it. I just like to get right down to it. And her review doesn't really cover a lot of information. I'll say it like that. But this is the YouTube videos that this guy, lifelong nursing, that he does, which I thought were amazing. I made good notes through him, and I appreciated that resource was available. Another thing that I did, so when I took I failed the exam once by a few points, and the second time that I took it, or the first time that I took it, I studied for about a good month, and I thought I was prepared and I was ready, and when I saw the first question, my mind went blank, and I just wasted a lot of time trying to remember a lot of information that I had studied. So what I did the second time around, and I studied for possibly about a good 2 weeks the second time, just because I thought I had scheduled my personal life well enough so that I could take the exam the second time. And I had re-registered right away as soon as I could. I don't remember the time frame that I had, but I thought that I could that I had enough time to adequately study the second time. But I basically studied for a solid 2 weeks. And the second time, what I did differently was practice a cheat sheet. I did not take this cheat sheet in to the exam with me, okay? I went through each system and focused on my weak areas, which were mostly in cardiac, and certain things that I took for granted, like the different types of shock and how your body responds to it with your pulmonary artery catheter values. So what I did the second time with the cheat sheet, and it's just like what I'm saying, cheat sheet wise. I can't find the paper that I had, but anyhow, so when it came to the different types of shock, cardiogenic shock, hypovolemic shock, sepsis, I wrote down your blood pressure, your cardiac index, cardiac output, stroke volume, stroke index, SVR, SVO2, RAP, or your RAP, CVP, your PAP, and your POP, or your pulmonary artery pressure, wedge pressure. I wrote down all of those and just did arrows, basically. I don't know, the light is in the way. But anywho, I just wrote arrows just to help me remember what values are affected in various types of shock. I did the same thing when it came to my medications that affected preload and afterload and contractility, what increases and decreases, those things. Even when it came down to my murmurs, I had an acronym called SMIAS, SMIAS, systolic mitral regurgitation or mitral insufficiency, aortic stenosis, and then for diastolic murmurs, DM psi. So diastolic mitral stenosis, aortic insufficiency, or aortic regurgitation. So I did like little things like that to help me remember and focus on. And another thing that you, as far as material wise, do not take professional ethics stuff for granted. It's 20, I think it's 20 points, if I'm not mistaken. Don't take that subject area for granted because it is heavily graded as well. Another thing, the very first time that I took the exam, I did well, and I did okay in cardiac and pulmonary, but I really bombed multi-system shock hematology, I think GI and endocrine. I think all of that is like one section, but I completely bombed that because I didn't focus on it, and I thought that I could just wing those because in the Barron's book they were weighted so low, so I thought I was okay in that. But really don't take any system for granted. Even though you really want to focus on your heavily weighted systems like your cardiac and your pulmonary and your neuro, don't take anything for granted. Another thing that I wanted to touch on, I'm trying to find it. Codes. I can't. Anywho, just make things make sense. At the end of the day, I don't know what your reasoning is for wanting to do the CCRN, whether you want to give yourself a leg up and going to school to further your education, getting your master's, doing your CRNA, whatever it is. I did it because I just wanted to be a better nurse, period. I want to be that nurse on the unit that's your superhero nurse. The one who you call and say, hey, I need you to come in right now because this person is crashing. Come and help out. That's what I want to be, or who I want to be. As far as furthering my education, I'm not there yet. I know I will go back to school, but that's the reason why I took the CCRN exam. And yeah. So I think I covered most of what I wanted to say without making this a lengthy video. Just to recap, there are no practice questions that are like the CCRN exam. It's harder than the NCLEX. If you're not a part of the Critical Care Nursing Association, go ahead and make that stuff happen because you get discounts. Who ain't here for discounts? And the Barron's book was the best resource that I had, along with the CCRN YouTube videos. Don't waste your money on Laura Gets Barris unless you absolutely want it. Don't wing it and cheat. So, yeah. Good luck on passing the CCRN exam. You can do it. Okay, bye. Thanks.